Hey, what's going on? I'm Mike.
Hey, Scuzzy, Nicky Nick. Hey, what's going on, kid? Yeah, just sitting out here. These storms rolled through. It's brutally hot and humid right now.
Not too much. Just got home. Yeah, it was pouring here too. Nicole and I were driving literally through like a hurricane. It was bad. What do we got on tomorrow?
Got Semih, the reptile hun. Yeah, yeah, that guy is great. You ain't kidding, man. I love his approach. How he, like we get in trouble saying some of the things he says, but I don't know. Maybe it's the way he says it.
We got on Semih. Oh man, I love his little friend Kevin. I'm inspired by Kevin sometimes.
That man, them are fighting words with me. You know that. Morning, Brainiacs. And the reason we say good morning is our guest today is from Germany, and he's a great dude. But being in Germany and us being in the States, we had to do this early morning show to make it all work time wise between us and him. And yeah, it's 6 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, 7 where Nick's at, I believe, right?
Yep. Yep.
And Uncle Mike, he does not even have 4 sips of coffee, let alone 4 cups of coffee in him yet. So bear with me. I'm still trying to wake up.
Me too. I'm not even alive yet. I was up probably 4 hours ago, so this is rough.
Wow. Shit. I if I had 4 hours to get enough coffee in me, I'd be good. So so what do you got for news today, Nicky Nick?
So to kick it off, I have Kalen Harvest with the Roughnecks. That hasn't been done in a long time. I think the last person was Fox, Robert Fox,
I think
that I
so.
know of. So that's a really big accomplishment. And it looked like a big clutch. I forget the number, but it was up there, close to 10.
Mm, very cool. Now again, and I love Ruticolis. I've never kept any, and I would love to again someday.
Mhm.
But again, I'd be looking for those Ruticolis of old, the big black ones.
Yep. Yep.
That's just what I prefer. And literally, if I didn't find those, I probably wouldn't even do them. And it's not, for whatever. But in my head, that's what Ruticolis were back in the day. I mean, they're really cool. They're beautiful. But man, I like the big black ones.
Me too. Somebody's got to get those in the hands of maybe Kalen or Robert, somebody that's done them before, and get them going because they're around. We saw them last year, Uncle Mike. They're
Yeah,
pretty.
you know what's funny about it? You say that, Nick? Yeah, they had come in. I believe Cold Blooded Shops had them, but they were gone. And here's the problem with wild caught imports, especially adults. I'm not going to take a risk with adult animals that are set in their ways from the wild, acclimating to captivity. It can be done, obviously, but those animals kind of like went away. I got a feeling that they probably didn't make it,
Yeah. I
unless
saw
they're.
mostly males from what I remember. So who
Yeah,
knows
me
if there's
too. Yeah,
even pairs floating around, but still really cool. That was a wasn't expecting that when I went on Facebook, so that's awesome. I didn't even know he
yep.
was working with him. Kalen's actually the guy who I bought my quints from when they were like this big, the ones that I ended
Nice.
up producing. So great guy. I've known him a while.
Yeah, cool. Well, congratulations, Kaylin. Is it?
Yep, Kalen,
Yeah,
out of
congratulations.
California.
Out of California, huh? Another West Coaster.
Yep. So
So
the second one we have Cody with the Simless. They actually hatched. So
Yep.
I forget how many there were there too, Uncle Mike, but
That
we were
there
talking
was
to him
quite a
about it.
few.
Yep.
I want to say like 6 or 8,
Yep. Very cool.
but yeah. So he hatched them. Beautiful, beautiful little animals. He was saying he was having trouble getting them going. I gave him a few suggestions, and last I heard from him, they're all doing great now. So congratulations again on such a cool species that it's been breaking my balls for many years, and congratulations to him, and hopefully he can keep it up, and hopefully my group gets going here, and yeah, it's a cool species for sure.
Definitely. And you'll get them, Uncle Mike, for sure. You know
Uh,
that already.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but today's a big day for the community as well. We have Monsters of God coming out, which I'll let you say who we have coming on pretty soon, Uncle Mike, to kind of talk about it. But it's interesting. We'll talk more about it at the end of the show about what we think about Monsters of God and all that stuff. But
Well, I'm reserving my judgment. I never seen the monkey one. Okay, I seen Tiger King, and so be it. That was dreadful in my opinion. But it was like watching a train wreck, right? I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
yeah,
Um, so this Monsters of God one that's coming out, I'm going to reserve my opinion till after I see it, of course. But as you know, I mean, I hold Tom Crutchfield, the OG, in a high regard, a lot of respect for that man. He's been, he was one of the guys when I first was doing this as a kid that, like, even back then with no internet, you knew that guy, right? You knew of his reputation and stuff. So, I love Tom. We love Tom here. So, and we're both men of second chances. So everyone deserves a second chance, a third chance. Hey, our Lord is very forgiving. So,
yeah.
yeah, I reserve.
I've said it before on here. If it were me, I would have done the same thing. So I don't think anything of it. And it was a long time ago. The world was a different place. Rules were different. Laws were different. And I don't want to say, I guess I could say I look forward to seeing how this is portrayed. I just hope it's not too bad. Kind of
Yeah,
bracing for impact a little bit.
there's a few things on it that I guess I could bring up now because no matter how it is, it's just something I don't believe in. I don't believe in, free handling venomous. I don't agree in exploiting these animals. And as a recovering drug addict, I don't know how. Again, I don't know how this show is going to be, but from the trailer that I've seen, like the glorification, and I don't even know if it is glory. That's why I'm reserving the right to talk about it till after. But drug use and associating that with reptile people, we don't need that because look, people make mistakes in their lives. They go down the wrong path. So be it, man. Like I said, everyone deserves a second chance. So let's just wait till this comes out. And then once it actually, so Tom and, all those guys are down in LA right now, Hollywood, whatever, for the premiere of it. So, it's like, I had called Tom and I'm like, hey, you want to come on and talk about, Monsters of God or whatever it's called. And he said, let's do it after. I'm like, great idea, OG. We'll do it. We'll do it after. So I can't remember the date, but coming up real soon here, we got, the OG himself coming on to talk about this movie.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too,
Excited to talk
man.
to Tom and talk more about what's going on after we see it. It's definitely a better idea, I think, to talk to him after we know what to talk about.
Right,
But hoping to see him down at Daytona too if he's back.
right.
'Cause I leave in a couple days. But
You lucky dog, yeah.
yeah, it's gonna
But
be a
it's funny.
long ride, 16 hours each way. It's gonna be
Well,
fun.
so I threw my back out earlier this week, and man, it's like today's the first day that I could actually like breathe a little bit better. Like I don't normally have lower back pain, but when I throw out my back, it's like if I move certain ways, it's just like it takes my breath away. So I'm starting to feel better. And yeah, I think when do you leave for Daytona?
Wednesday. I leave
Oh,
on
okay.
Sunday, so
Yeah.
literally 5 days.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll be better by then. But man, I couldn't even imagine jumping on an airplane like this and sitting in one spot for 2 hours and then getting off an airplane and trying to get around. But so without further ado, Nick,
Yep.
so this guy is, I love this guy. I've known him a while on the internet. I've known him a long time on the internet. He's an excellent reptile keeper, naturalistic habitats. He's just got everything he does is kind of like right up our alley.
Yeah.
And the way he does it, like he kind of like, I don't know, he like says things that shock you into, questioning your husbandry and your methods and the people that you listen to. And man, he's spot on with everything. I agree with, a lot of everything that he does and says. However, like he does it almost in a loving way that kind of like using strong words. And we've done that and didn't always work out good for us. I hope it works out better for him.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy. So Nick, you want to?
He's got a method to his madness, Uncle Mike. He's very good, very precise. He's on point with it, and I enjoy watching. It's got a twist of comedy to everything, which is my speed.
Yeah, definitely.
So without further ado, let's get Semih in here. What's going on, guys? So if you guys have been watching the podcast or anything Uncle Mike and I have been doing, I probably don't even need to say what I'm about to say, but let's be honest. Life gets busy, life gets crazy, and sometimes you just need a helpful reminder. And today, I'm here to be that helpful reminder. Get to USARK.org and get those annual subscriptions, or get to your local show and donate an animal or donate goods, anything you can to try to help. Again, anything helps. $5, whatever you can do, helps us. These legislators are trying to come for us when we're not paying attention and pass these laws, slip them in other bills, and really trying to catch us off guard so we can't keep these animals, and we can't sit here and have a podcast about how to keep them. So don't let them do that to us, guys. We all are here for the same reason. If it's a ball python, if it's a monitor lizard, we all love reptiles. So let's keep it together, stay a community, and get behind USARK, someone that has our backs. Let's have theirs. Semih in here.
Hey there, guys.
Hey, Semih.
How you doing?
Okay, we got, if you guys can't tell who we got here, we got the Reptile Hun here.
The man.
Thank you for having me, guys. Again,
Yeah.
Of course.
Ungodly time, but you made it. And I'm pretty thankful that you did because, yeah.
Yeah, well, this show's about you, so we're honored that you would come on and talk with us. So I was kind of laying things out for the brainiacs that watch this podcast, and we were saying how everything you do, it's a lot of, in this day and age, I don't even know, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this too, but what the heck, I'm always in trouble anyways, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like people are soft. Your approach is very in your face. There's a lot of comedy to it, and it's excellent way to wake somebody up to where, maybe you got to question the way you're doing things. And, so when you use words like, and now I'm talking about me, lazy. Okay. I got people that jump down our throats because we said lazy, not pointing the finger at anybody in particular, but it's true. It's true. When you feed grocery store foods to your animals, it becomes about convenience to you as the keeper, where if you do it for convenience as you, the keeper, your animals are suffering. And, and that takes away from your animal, your animal's health, life, longevity.
Definitely, yeah.
So you come at it, you say some strong words, but it's all in love, and it's all to make you think. That's what this is about. Like if you gave everybody the answers, what would they learn? They're just a parrot at that point. They just parroting what they hear.
Exactly.
Sometimes they don't listen anyway. So you got to lead them to it without putting it right in their face. So.
Right. And again, sometimes a little spanking is good for you. I mean, come on. I mean, we're grown adult people who keep reptiles in boxes. And that's another thing. Like, I've known you a long time, Semih, and your whole naturalistic cage builds, that's right up our alley here. I believe all animals deserve that level of respect.
Oh, 100%.
And so, with that being said, so what's your goal, your mission with what you're doing? Because you went away a little bit, and then you came back, and now you're coming back very strong, and I love what you're doing. So give us an idea of like what your course is, your plans.
The mission is like that. With the whole reptile hunt stuff, with the series and all the things that I do, my mission is to get animal keeping to the next level. I mean, for everybody. Yep. And the thing that you said, that people are reacting weird when you call them out, is they react like that because you hit a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And if they get defensive, that's okay. But the biggest issue that we have, in my opinion, is that people in general always bring in their egos. And I mean, you've been doing this forever. I've been keeping reptiles since I can literally think, over 30 years now. And I still learn stuff. It's every day that I do research, every day that I watch my animals, I observe, I learn new stuff. Every time I speak to professionals, zookeepers, friends of mine that have been doing this forever, they also learn new stuff. So I think we have to cut down our egos for the benefit of the animals, and that's the goal of the reptile hunt. I'm not saying that I know everything or that I'm the greatest. I'm not. I'm definitely not. But I can show my ways, which I think will benefit some people. And I mean, the end goal is to let the animals benefit from it.
Well, what I think what you're trying to say too is like, we're not setting out to be teachers, but we've done this for a long time, and we're just trying to help people like avoid the mistakes and the pitfalls that we've done in the past. And we very, I, Nick, we feel very strongly about helping people and bringing it to the light. And again, nobody wants to hand you a formula, so to speak, right? But if we give you nudges in a certain direction, that's not prodding or it's all to make you think, right? Because this is what this 100%. Is about. You need to problem solve, and you need to understand these animals. And somebody coming in who read a few Facebook groups, and now all of a sudden they're a pro, and they're doing things that we see. We know the end result because we've done it, right? Yeah. So we're trying to help people with that. And you too, that's what you're doing. And man, your approach to it with the little kid with the spinny hat. I mean, dude, it's hilarious.
You couldn't have hit it perfect with that spinny hat. That was
there's always the Kevin somewhere in the groups, right?
Yeah.
I love when he's walking on the screen. You kick him in the ass. It's hilarious.
I love.
Good morning, Nick.
Morning.
Morning. Hi.
Morning.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if I sit here and talk about the stuff like most other people do, you will just zoom out. And I'm trying to package it a little bit with my personality, with a little bit of humor, and I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I mean, if you do something stupid, I will tell you that you do something stupid. But in the same time, I will not attack any particular person. That's a big thing for me. I don't like all the internet warrior stuff. In that regards, I'm a bit old school. I handle my stuff for myself, and I don't like it to be online.
Right.
And that's why I don't attack people. But people still feel attacked. And
Well, Semih, I got a theory about that because, Nick and I, we both have, inadvertently, or I don't know if that's the word, whatever, unintentionally have offended people by saying words like lazy or, we never use like stupid or some of the words that you use and get away with because, like, I don't know in Germany if that see you next Tuesday word is meant the way it is, but I know see you next Tuesday here in the States is like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But it just comes off so funny with you.
So
but
funny.
I think what it is like exactly what you said. If people get offended by some of the verbiage that we use, it's literally never pointed at anyone specifically.
Never.
And then these people turn around like it is directed directly at them. And it couldn't be further from the truth. It's a statement and it's made generally for anybody. And if you keep doing the same stuff over and over, I mean, that's the definition of lazy. Someone who's not willing to put it.
Trouble for saying this, but reacting that way, you're just exposing yourself. You're saying,
Exactly.
"Hey, I'm doing this."
Yep.
But that's in the end, that's a good thing. I mean, from there on, you have like two paths. Either you act offended like a little kid and cry and I don't know, report guys or try to argue, or you think maybe this guy hit a nerve and maybe I need to work on stuff.
Yep.
And I think in the end we have to make sure that we do our very best to provide for the animals. That's our responsibility.
Yep.
I mean, they haven't chosen to be with us. We have chosen them. So I think it's just fair to do our really, really best effort to give them the best life they can live. And we can do that. I mean, it's not that hard. In my opinion, reptiles are maybe, again, this is just my opinion, but I think reptiles are the kind of animals that people can actually keep pretty good. And we can provide them everything that they need. If you compare it to other animal groups, it's good. And the community as a whole, as much as I'm bashing sometimes and as much as I do rant sometimes, I think the reptile community is actually like doing a pretty good job with that.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's
Right across the
reading
world
books,
right now.
everybody's watching films, everybody's watching YouTube, they read stuff. But again, here comes the point, which is difficult. It's like, who are you listening to? The thing is, if you listen to me, you will get my experience. If I listen to Mike, I will get his experience. Is it 100% true all the time? No, probably not. I'm not a prophet. I'm just a guy that's like, this is my life.
Yep.
But I can still do mistakes, and people should always do their research. But people are doing it. In the reptile community, people are actually trying to do their best. And I think that's a good thing for us in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the whole approach to and again, and we were all newbies at one point, right? And like you say that word newbie, and somebody who's had a pair of leopard geckos, and now they have an Asian water monitor, and now they're in their third year, and they're like, they get like high and
Yeah.
pointy. It's like, wait a minute, man. These animals, they have a way of humbling you, and they humble you through their health. And it's up to us. It's our responsibility, right? We're keeping these things in boxes. So it's up to us to provide the best for them. And again, like what you were kind of touching on right there is like, I'm never going to be, we all are never going to be the guy who think, and what we were talking earlier behind the stage or whatever you'd call it is, yeah, I've been doing this for a long ass time, and I don't think I have it all figured out, because once you think you've figured it all out, boy, you're lost. There's more than one way to do this stuff. However, with health, there's issues with health that's not a compromise. You can't compromise. If somebody's doing something wrong, you explain to them why. And again, it's always out of a place of love, right? Because
100%.
we don't want you to do the same mistakes that we know. And like, we're just offering
trying to be who we wish we had. That's how I look at it. I couldn't just ask anybody until I met you, Uncle Mike. Nobody would really give me the answers. Not that I was looking for the answers, but I was looking to be guided, and I didn't have that. So I tried to be that for other people.
Nick, I think like what Semih, like what you had just said, and what Semih does too. So like when you first came to me, Nick, I didn't give you answers.
You scared me. You still won't give me the direct answer. You just get me in the right direction.
Right, because it's all about using your brain, man. If somebody tells you, like for example, the whole, bacon branches, the branch is too big to put in my oven. How am I supposed? Well, put it in the shower and pour bleach on it and steam it. It's like, dude, these animals, especially, where this is monitor brain. So we're talking about monitor lizards. They don't come from a sterile environment. And they know how to handle all of that stuff. So just go to the woods, and as long as you don't have fire ants or termites in the wood, just rinse it off and put it in your cage, man. Whatever's on that, whatever.
To tell you, Uncle Mike, my dad got a bunch of chameleons, those sailfin chameleons that I've been looking for 10 years. And what I did, I went in my backyard, I cut down a birch, the tree at the bottom, and I put it right in the enclosure, leaves and everything. I didn't put it in my oven. I didn't put it in the driveway. I put it right in there. I made sure it was clean from bugs and stuff, obviously. No
common sense, right?
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. This is like the one reel and the one short video that got so much traction and so many comments on Facebook. It was literal war. The video where I told that you don't always need to disinfect your stuff. And I just made a video like any of the others, and all of a sudden this thing completely exploded, and people went batshit crazy over it. And I mean, I cannot even comprehend it, because you're going out into nature. You're not collecting stuff at a dump yard or at the roadside or, I don't know, Chernobyl or,
Yeah.
It's natural stuff. And people act like their animals, as I said, they evolved in a petri dish. They didn't. I mean, I've been in the field a lot of times, and I see where things live. And most of the people that react that way, I think they wouldn't even keep the animals if they knew how they are living in the nature, in the wild.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, they start complaining or writing messages about mites, and then I say, all right, where are you living? And he says, I don't know. I live in New York. I live in Russia. I live here and there. And I say, all right, what kind of mites are you worried about? They act like all mites are like reptile mites. And I said, to one guy, I said, you know what? I'm offering you $500 if you can go out and find me one stick with snake mites on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Find me one. You will not find it. And if you find it, it's like winning the lottery. It's crazy. And the thing is, I don't say that you don't need to disinfect or be careless. The thing is, you have to, I don't know, find out what the real risk is. And if they are acting so strange because they are buying stuff from reptile shops, from expos, from other keepers, they switch interior from one tank to the other, they get new animals without quarantine, they get feeder animals from where it's the cheapest. and then they are like super crazy about stuff from outside. I don't know. This was like
I was gonna say
insane.
the exact thing.
I couldn't even believe what was going on.
Yeah, it's funny how someone will wanna they'll want to bake a branch, right, or whatever. I mean, their heads would explode if they knew I literally collect all of my nesting dirt from the wild. I don't. I mean, I don't disinfect it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I encourage all of the cleanup crews, the millipedes, the centipedes, the millipedes, the isopods, springtails. Man, that's all great stuff
It's
for
an
your
ecosystem.
animal.
It's already working. I don't know what the issue is with people. And I intentionally didn't brought that up because I knew as soon as I will tell them that I get my soil from outside, they will completely lose their minds.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the old school keepers and the people which are in it for longer, they understand that because most of them are doing it, in fact. But like the newbies who are keeping reptiles for 2 weeks, they will try to tell you that you're risking the life of your animals with that.
Absolutely.
So it's like a giant conundrum. It's insane.
I've never found a mite on any of my monitors, and I've been doing that forever. It's the same thing.
100%. I mean, I've been doing this. I've been doing literally this for over 30 years. I get all my stuff from outside. Either it's from outside or I build it myself. And I have never, not a single time, had issues with mites, with pathogens, with anything. But I know a lot of keepers and friends that had problems with mites when they went on and bought stuff from expos or from the pet shop or got soil from the pet shop. You don't know where that stuff is coming. And the stuff is also collected from outside. And you don't know where it originated from. And you don't know where it was kept until you got it. It's
right. You know, it's funny, Semih, you when you say that, it's like, okay, cork bark and cork tubes.
Yeah.
Oh,
The biggest one. That's gotta be the biggest one.
So I don't know if I was lagging there or something.
Yeah, you froze for a sec, but you're good, Uncle Mike.
Okay, so like you said, and common sense, right? That's the whole thing. You know, when somebody orders a pallet of cork tubes and cork bark, do you think the guy who's getting pennies on the dollar is running these cork pieces through UV sterilizers or anything like that? It's all from the wild, right?
Exactly.
And like you said, which is a very, very good point to bring up, when you get a nice piece of driftwood from an expo or from anywhere, so when you get stuff from an expo, chances are it was pre-used, right? So
100%.
I'm more afraid of that stuff than anything I grab out here in the woods.
Obviously, yeah.
Because you have no idea, was it with a ball python that had nido or whatever the case may be. But that's one thing, that's a beautiful thing about monitor lizards, man. They're if they're in good health, there ain't nothing you can bring in from outside that's going to affect them. You know,
It's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill it. It's hard to even you know, like slightly run a risk. So I think the
pet store. I mean, I'm more scared to getting some from a pet store than outside.
Yeah,
that was sprayed with or coated with or who knows. I mean,
and even if they did it disinfect it, you don't even know what thing they used to disinfect it. Maybe this could be a bigger issue than mites in the first place.
Well, I will agree with you. I will agree with you right there. It things that are in nature are hardly a worry, right? These animals have been dealing with these things, you know, since the beginning of time. However, what they're not used to dealing with is chlorhexidine, bleach, things like that. And when, like, you know, especially us in the West, I'm sure it's the same in Germany. We over the last 100 years have been eating these chemicals and these antibiotics and these hormones and these things that they put in our food and you know, used to disinfect grocery stores, you know, the meat market and so on. Like, we get a little bit of whatever chlorhexidine on a hamburger, we handle it, right? Because we've been dealing with it for 100 years. These animals straight from the wild, have no clue how to deal with, poisons and things like that, man-made things. So it's real hard on their system, way more than anything you could grab from a bag of leaves in your yard, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know, it's the same thing when I see people feeding their monitor lizards like chicken from the store. It's I don't eat chicken from the store. It's like, how do you feed it to your monitor lizard? How do you feed it to your crocodile? It's full of antibiotics. It's
Yep. Well, this is a big one that we do, Semih, is because I've seen the detrimental effects of grocery store food and processed type foods, and I know what it does to your animals, and I don't lead people away from that stuff without having merit, right? So again, the chemicals, the hormones, the chlorine bath the chicken dunks into before it goes to the shelf, and now you give that stuff to your animal who don't know how to deal with it, and you wonder why your animal's in the corner shaking because he's been poisoned with some kind of
poison.
Yeah, some kind of poison. And there's a way out of that. Number one, just avoid it is the best way. But yeah, there's other ways to, if it does happen, activated carbon on a pinky mouse will neutralize most of it. But to continue doing it, your grocery store food, that's why, to continue doing it, that's where the word lazy came in. I said,
and it's building up, and it's also building up. That's the thing that people also don't think about. I mean, a little bit of poison there, a little bit of bleach there, and a little bit of this there. And then, like, over time, you end up with a sick animal. And no wonder, right?
Yep. In the...
You all right, Uncle Mike?
No, yeah, I can't hear Semih.
I didn't say anything. You hear me?
Oh, I seen your arms going. I was like, oh man, I want to hear what he's saying.
Oh, I think it's lagging maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you're right. And then literally when when we're talking about monitor lizards, that's what we talk about here. So whatever. And of course we talk about anything, but what 90% of these animals that die in captivity without living a full life is, they're overweight. And
oh God, that's a big
and they're overweight because they're not eating the proper food. Their body is not processing that food in the right way. And then, like you say, with all these chemicals and hormones and chlorine baths that they give the animals that we eat, which is, I mean, we shouldn't even be eating this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it accumulates in their liver, and they always die of either kidney or liver failure, and they wonder why. It's like, dude, these are both filters. Kidney and liver are both filters. Now, your kidneys rely on proper hydration to function in a good way, and people don't think of that. I mean, water, clean, fresh water is so important for the function of the animals, biological functions. And we just try to get people to think better. I mean, and like you said, Semih, we shouldn't even be eating this grocery store crap,
100%. I mean, I've been on a journey like since forever. I'm doing BJJ and MMA, and I was always on the heavier side. Like a couple of years ago, I was at my heaviest. I was at 185 kilos. But still doing BJJ, still doing MMA, still going on expeditions, and still doing all my stuff. But I thought maybe I should change a little bit because I'm young. But yeah. But the thing is, when you regard, I mean, when you inform yourself about all this stuff, you have at some point, I think you will also think about that regarding your animals. I mean, as I said, I wouldn't eat that stuff. Why would you go ahead and feed it to an animal that evolved into something that eats whole prey items? I mean, sure, I also had like chopped up animal parts that I fed to my lace monitors or to the Kumingai or something. But every now and then it was like a treat, but not like stable diet.
Right.
And I don't know, like the right feeder animals. That's a big pet peeve of mine when I see it. Like you see savannah monitors all the time. Thankfully, the numbers of that went pretty down in the last couple of years here in Germany, but I still see it a lot in the States with savannah monitors that don't even look like monitors anymore. They're so fat, and then you see people feeding them mice, feeding them chicken, and it's an animal that is not evolved to do that.
Right.
Sure, they can eat it like once in a while, but where they are from, they will not find mice every day, or a chicken breast every day, or chicken liver, or chicken heart. It's insane, and I don't get it. I mean, sure, most of the people don't care.
Put them in one category and think they all eat the same thing. And they don't
Yeah,
do
it's
research.
insane.
It goes back to that original research that people just don't do, and I don't think people understand the value of or what they're putting out there. Like if they put a video of them feeding a mouse, how much it affects the next person, because they're like, oh, that guy feeds it. I don't need to do research now.
100%.
So putting the right information out there is huge. Like you're doing something.
Yep.
Thank you, man. I mean, I had like with my tree monitors, I've seen so many tree monitors with people. I like 3 years ago, I was at the Ham Expo here in Germany, and there was a Beccari black tree monitor, and it was so big it literally looked like, I don't know, a young Kamingi. It was insanely big, and then it was also fat. And I know why it is that big and that fat. It's because the guy's feeding it mice all the time.
Yep. Yeah, like
So you have to do your research all the time. No matter what you do, you have the responsibility to take care of your animals, and that's the least you can do. Just inform yourself. What are they eating? Where are they living? What are they doing? This should be like common sense and basic knowledge for everybody that wants to keep an animal.
yeah, it's husbandry 101. Like this is everything is linked, right? Your diet it straightly affects their health. Basking temperatures affects their way they break down food.
Yeah.
So it's a fine oiled machine, and we just try to get people to understand that everything flows downhill. So a bad diet leads to a fat monitor. Sure, I see people, influencers, and they got this big water monitor that's shaped like a football, and it's like, man, that is not what they look like in the wild, man. Those fat reserves that they have from season to season they never get to that football shape. Sure, they put on some good fat, but never that much. And then in the wild, like there comes a time when it's too cool out or it's too hot out, and they live off of those fat stores. And when they do become, active again, man, you would look at them and think, wow, that poor thing's so skinny. But it's like, no, that poor thing is exactly what it's healthy. It should be that way.
100%.
So, diet is huge. And when you see these influencers who just, I don't know what it is. Like if if you're that big of a guy or a person on the internet and you're still feeding like chicken and stuff like that, I don't get it, because like Nick had broke down before, proper diet is actually easier to get nowadays because you have proper whole prey items delivered to your door. You don't even have to go to the store, right?
I don't have to leave my driveway. I have an 18-wheeler back down with a pallet, puts it on the ground, and I put it in the freezers. It's that simple.
I mean, you guys have been in it for a long time, and you remember. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, we didn't even have like good reptile lamps. We don't have like feeders everywhere. You couldn't order anything from the internet because there wasn't really an internet that you could buy stuff from. Yeah. It's so easy nowadays. And the crazy part is that it's like the thing with my videos and with my content is I'm giving people like directions that they can go to, and it's most of the time it's just simple fixes that they can do. And I never tell them like any numbers. Like, I don't know, what temperature do I have to get my spot on? Because sure, I can give you that number, but they ask, all right, how much wattage should my lamp have? And I cannot
Can't
tell
answer
you
that.
because I don't know what your terrarium looks like. I don't know what your house looks like. I don't know your climate. I don't know anything. You can do your research on your own. But it's small fixes that people can do, which completely transforms their husbandry. And as you said, with all those influencers, it's like if somebody called me an influencer last time, and it hit me because I don't like to be. I will never want to be an influencer. Mm-hmm. The thing is, if you got such a following that people are copying your stuff and trying to be like you, if you're really an influencer, then maybe you should really try to get your shit together and try to be a person that people actually can follow.
100%. Like,
and the guys that you, sorry, Mike. But
oh
the
no,
guys
go
that
on.
You see, which have huge followings. It's like, I don't know. I do like a little bit of venomous safety here and there with my Vipers and stuff. And then you get like, I don't know, 10K views, 100K views. And then I watch people with millions of views and millions of followers doing the most retarded shit that you can imagine. I mean, it's insane. My blood is boiling whenever I see it. And then people wonder why in the populace people think that each one of us is insane. Clearly we are insane when we push guys like that in front of an audience that is like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Those people do it for the views, and sadly, it's like what Uncle Mike said, watching a train wreck. We watch a train wreck
exactly.
like everybody else, and it just puts them higher by watching it. And
yeah.
it's hard not to. So.
And like, sure. So if you're truly an animal lover, like we are, and so here's I have a big beef with when people use this internet for the views and making their YouTube money. I don't even know what it's worth, but they're literally creating a whole generation of people that are going to need to relearn everything if they want to stay in it. So you don't have fat, unhealthy monitors and whatnot. So what happens generally, what I see happening is people come into it and they start looking at the big influencers, right? And then sure as shit, shortly thereafter, hey, Uncle Mike, my animal is doing this or it's doing that. Okay, well, I jest, but literally I could almost say to him, hey, stop feeding them grocery store foods, right?
Yeah.
So they see that inexpensive way of feeding, and it's really not inexpensive. It's the wrong way to do something.
It's lazy.
It's lazy, right? There you go. And again, I always follow that up with, if that word makes you feel some kind of way, don't get mad at us over saying it. Maybe look at what you're doing and understand why we're saying that word. We're not picking on you. We're not doing it. We're trying to help you. And if you're one of those,
we've been there. We're humans. We're gonna find the shortest route possible to something, but sometimes that's not the best route.
And if there's a lot of people that we spend time with and try to teach them about whole prey diets and how to avoid processed foods and grocery store foods, and oh yeah, they shake their head up and down. Yeah, we get it. Next video, here they are feeding chicken strips. It's like, yeah, it's like, wow, man. Think about that. Can you imagine any animal walking through or strolling through its habitat and saying, wow, this is my lucky day, there's a chicken leg? It don't happen. They grab the whole chicken, right? So again, we don't, it's all out of love for the animal, not so much the people, but the people are keeping the animals, so we deal with them, right?
You have to, and that's the thing. I mean,
so
sorry.
I'd hate to do this experiment, but I'd love to see like a monitor fed only grocery store diet compared to like how we feed. And we see it on social media. We don't even need to really do the experiment. But these animals that should live 20, 30 years are living 4 or 5. And people scratch their heads like, why did it die? That's why.
Surprise, Sherlock.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I mean, I can tell you like one story. I got friends in Turkey which are researchers, and they did a study on Vipera anatolica. It's like the smallest viper species in Turkey. And the guy told me that in their research, they found out that the animal, and I mean, I've been to the habitat like 4 or 5 times, and I've seen them there, and I found them, and then they're like pretty small vipers, but they're super stout. They look like little bodybuilders. And the friends of mine, which were there with me, we came up with the term that we don't call them Anatolica anymore. We call them Anabolica because of that, because they're really like stout animals. And then the guys from the researcher friends, they told me that they found out that the animals eat approximately 4 to 5 times in a year.
Wow.
In a year. And we're talking like the prey items usually are crickets and grasshoppers like this size. Yep. 4 or 5 times a year. And then you watch, and I mean, we don't have that species in captivity, but I can compare it to like the meadow vipers that I have. I see the meadow vipers in captivity. They're usually pretty long and pretty like slim animals. They almost look like colubrids. And you compare it to the wild ones, which are super stout, super like heavy animals. And then you wonder, I mean, you feed them more often in captivity. People feed them mice, like they also, it's not staple food, but they feed them often. The temperatures are usually way higher in all of the animals that we keep. I'm pretty sure that this is an issue no matter what species. We keep them way hotter than they should be kept. And then you see an animal that is like that slim compared to the other one, which lives outside and eats like 4 times a year, and it is double that size in girth. And then, well, you know, clear, right? Their metabolism is spiking, and they're burning the stuff down, and it's the wrong feeder items, and you have like 2 completely different animals. If you would take the one from nature and take the one from captivity, you probably would think that they are different species.
You know, Semih, people that look at these animals without understanding the animal, without a discerning eye, so like the vipers you're talking about, or any vipers that are from an arid region, right? They think, oh yeah, you know, I'll just keep one light burning over the top and a pile of rocks, and they don't realize that in that dry scrubland habitat that they live in, we're only seeing the surface. However, these animals not only see, but they understand. When they go in a rock crevasse, the moisture in there is much different.
Completely different.
It's a micro habitat that they seek out for certain things in their life, and people they make everything too simple. And you know, to be honest with you, doing it the right way to me seems way more simple than the look of the, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so much that they get out of microclimates and microhabitats that, you know, people don't think they need because they only see the surface of what these animals are.
Yeah. I mean, I just recently did one video where I showed this device. Sorry, Nick, again. No, it's okay. Lagging, I don't want to interrupt you.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I showed this device, which I take on field trips with me, and I also use it in my setups here. And it will show you like temperature and humidity, and you can point it at places and it will show you. And this thing, I recommend it to everybody to get something like that, because it will completely change your mind about keeping in general. Because if you go outside and, as Mike said, you look on the surface and you see, all right, it's pretty hot and it's dry, and then you just stick that thing under just one leaf into the leaf litter, and it's completely different.
Yep.
The height is completely different. The tree, the temperature and the humidity inside the, I don't know, let's take tree monitors, inside the canopy is completely different than on the ground or at mid levels. That's the thing. I don't know. Generally in captivity, I think we should always try to copy the good aspects of nature, not all, the good aspects of it as much as we can. And that's the thing. I mean, if you got a care sheet that tells you, yeah, you should house your leopard gecko at I don't know, 28 degrees Celsius, people say, like, all right, then I will have 28 degrees Celsius all around the whole entire enclosure. It's insane.
Well,
You will never find a spot like that in nature.
That's why I love monitors so much, because they're such intelligent creatures that, like, when you have an animal that is way more, and monitors are definitely hardy. However, if you put them in a beef jerky machine, you're going to turn that thing into beef jerky, right? Hot, dry, no microclimates from to get humidity and out of the heat. So they're way more demanding of that stuff than, say, a ball python, right? I mean, a ball python, you could practically abuse the crap out of it and it'll still survive, no problem. Monitors, the same thing, but you start seeing health issues, kidney failure and things like that from being dehydrated and never having, clean water. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, man, we see the bad on the internet and we're just trying to shine a light so you don't have to go through what we went through. Back in the day, I would listen to zoo guys. And then I had this experience with the zoo guy and I realized, I was like, holy cow, man, they got it rough. Like he had a tree monitor that wasn't doing well. It was a wild caught import and he couldn't get it to feed. And I said, take a pinky and dunk it in warm egg yolk. And I'm 90% sure he'll eat that. And the guy told me, he goes, okay, well, next time we have a board meeting, I'll run it past them. I'm like, that animal doesn't have a week, a month. It doesn't have that time. Why can't you just sneak them a pinky? And they're like, oh, we got to run it. We can't do a diet change without running past, protocol, past the board or whatever. And again, so another thing I wanted to point out, Semih, is also with the influencers, incorrect diets and setups and so on, or never explaining, if they do have a proper setup, never explaining why the surface looks this way and why we have this crevice over here with moist dirt in it and so on. But so we got them people that we're battling against. Then we got the people who come in, right? We know we go in the woods and get everything we need, right? These people coming in, they have no idea of that. So what do they do? Who do they listen to? ZooMed, Zilla.
Guys that sell.
And they're not going to tell you, oh, the best dirt is to dig it outside. They're going to say, oh, buy this cocoa or buy this log or this hammock thing. It's.
I mean, Mike, have you ever seen all the stuff that they sell? Have you ever seen anything that resembles it just a little bit in nature? And I mean, I'm not going to bash any brands or something, but that's the reason why I started this journey with also like Paleo Solutions, which I started. It is because all the stuff that you can buy is basically decoration, and it's trash. An animal doesn't care about decoration. You don't. That's a big thing for me. You don't decorate terrariums. If you do it for yourself. But the animal don't need no decoration. It needs stuff that they can biologically use. You have like fake rocks that don't act like rocks. You have people telling you, where's the hammock in your terrarium? I don't know. Where the fuck is the hammock outside in nature? I haven't seen no documentaries in the outback of Australia where a bearded dragon is sitting on a miniature sofa or something, or on a reptile carpet. It's insane.
It is.
It's so stupid. It's crazy.
That's the thing is like I can't jump on a plane and go to Indo. I have a job, a family, but we have things like iNaturalist, Google. Look at your climates in that area.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I check out climates and I figure out nighttime temps and day temps and I set up my stuff accordingly. I was doing it last night for these chameleons I got coming in. You just gotta do your research. If you can't go to someone, Google's an amazing thing, and you can't take everything to Google, but take an educated guess, educated search, and look these things up. And nature's not going to lie to you. Nature's going to tell you temperatures.
Well, you see,
they're not going to sell you anything.
Yeah.
I tell you, I think what our job is as advanced keepers is to kind of bring to the light. And again, I don't like to just say to somebody, hey, I mean, you can get great dirt right out in your own woods. And people don't, I don't know, man. It's like, it's not that hard to go into a clean area of a woods with a bucket and dig some of the forest floor up. Now you got bioactivity in there. You got beautiful natural smells, and your animal will appreciate that
It's
way
crazy
more.
enrichment also.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think that
Absolutely.
goes back to the laziness a little bit, Uncle Mike. Because for you and me, it's not that hard. I'm sure Semih too. But like you have people in the city, like New York City, people in Chicago that can't just
Sure.
go in their backyard, and they have to travel a little bit to get those things, and then they don't have a vehicle, and they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna order it on Amazon.
Yep.
It's
that
okay. I mean,
laziness.
everybody does what they can. That's why I do like. Sure, I have this small videos and longer videos in YouTube and stuff, but that's why I made the field notes on Substack where I break down these kinds of stuff like more thoroughly. And just yesterday, I posted one big newsletter just on soil, and this was also a part of it. I mean, if you cannot go outside, one follower wrote me. She's from Istanbul, and she told me that she cannot get like real dirt, and she has to order stuff. And I said, all right, you can order stuff. You can order sand. You can order some clay. You can order some dirt. And then you mix your stuff. And I also broke it down a little bit how they can mix it up. But the best thing, as Mike is saying, in my opinion, also is the stuff that you get outside.
And
no product will give you that.
No, and Semih, I want to point out right here in this conversation that, like, people don't picture in your head old Uncle Mike out in the woods digging this stuff up out of the forest floor. Every town in the United States has a municipal building, right? Who, what they do is when a storm comes through and the trees get broken, and they throw all those limbs into the chipper, right?
Yeah.
And they bring this chipped hardwood to a central location, and there's this pile of wood, chipped wood. And when you look at it on the surface, it is junk. It's the same stuff that you're buying in a store. However, dig into that pile of dirt 10 years, dig into it to where the last load was. And now all those hardwood chips are starting to break down. And when you gather it, you smell it. It smells like the woods after the rain. And like I said, every town, 90% of the towns in America is going to have this same pile of wood that I get my stuff from. Yeah. However, mine's on my in-laws' property. But if you go to the municipal area and you see the pile of wood chips, don't look at the pile of wood chips. Clear off 3-4 years of it. Get down into it where it's already hot and it's starting to break down and all your bioactivity lives in there.
Yeah.
Take the new stuff out of the way and dig up that stuff that's starting to break down. And it's literally forest floor. That's what a forest floor is. All the trees, all the leaves, everything that falls and is broken down. Yeah, decomposing stuff.
Your enclosure and watch your animal's reaction.
Oh, they love it.
They instantly perk up.
And it's not that hard. I mean, with all the stuff that we're talking about, it's just you try to copy nature. I don't know, when was the last time that you went outside and you've seen like cocoa bark on the floor with animals on it? Have you seen something like that? I don't know. Why are people buying that? Are they okay? It's all right. You don't want no bioactive setups. You don't want no bugs in it. But still, I mean, and then you have like the crazy extreme where people keep things like they are living animals and they keep them on paper towels. They keep them on like cocoa bark, like crazy stuff. And then they ask me, why is the humidity not working out? Why are the animals acting strange? Well, I don't know. Is it such a big surprise for you when you house them like that?
Yeah. Well, it's like we said earlier, like everything in this diet, habitat, everything is kind of interlaced, right? So when you think of it as a sterile thing, that's you. That's for you. That's not for that animal, because the animal can handle the bioactivity in soils. And again, when I see people
And it
using
will benefit, in my opinion.
and they benefit from it. So when I see people using cypress mulch, right, and it's just sharp little sticks that are completely dry everywhere. Well, if your enclosure is pulling the moisture out of cypress mulch,
Yeah.
what do you think it's doing to your animal? It's doing the same thing. It's dehydrating your animal. So it's very important that your substrate has a moisture level. And that's just the way we see things. And, I guess we're really dedicated to doing that kind of stuff. And I believe even if you keep one animal, that should be easier for you to make sure your soil is a little hydrated and your animal's not being dehydrated. And again, it's just, we want you to think. Semih, he wants you to think of what we're saying. We're not saying it to, it ain't doing nothing for us, but we're trying to help the people and their animals avoid these mistakes that we've all had early on.
100%. It would be easy if we would try to sell stuff,
Yeah.
If you were coming over and you tell me, hey, Semih, you need to buy like this forest bedding from X company. I would say maybe, I don't know, maybe he has bad intentions or he wants to make quick money. But we don't tell people to buy stuff. It's the completely opposite thing. Yeah. So I don't get the heat that we're getting from it.
It's true.
It's crazy. And at the same time, as you said, with the numbers and with laziness with people, sure, if there are people out there which have like 700 ball pythons, like who the hell needs 700 ball pythons in the first place? But sure, when you have 700 animals, it's probably a bit hard to provide them good homes. But if you cannot provide them good homes, then maybe you should not have 700 animals.
Right. Have 400 and keep them in a better way.
Yeah.
Even at that, you're still going to miss things. There's no way you could keep up with that many animals. It's impossible.
No.
I have maybe 30 monitors, and I feel like I struggle sometimes.
Well,
definitely.
You know what I think? I think with the ball pythons is generally the entry point. Leopard geckos, bearded dragons, ball pythons. That's the entry level. And these animals, they're very hardy. They don't survive. Right, that is the problem, because they don't survive in those conditions because of us. They survive in those conditions not in spite of us, okay? So that just says more how hardy the animal is, not how good your husbandry is. So, 100%. And if you could breed those animals in those sterile, dry conditions, imagine how, that's good for you, for your bottom dollar, but is that really what it's about? Because if it
is it worth it?
Is it worth it? If it turns into me doing shortcuts to make more money, you've lost the battle. We're supposed to love these animals, so why wouldn't you give them the best? But there is that monetary incentive for people to make things easy and quick, and that's great for you, but it's not great for the animals, because they're going to do what they do not because of us, but in spite of us. So it doesn't say
them up, and watching them behave like animals is half the fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's why I don't get it, like when people have monitor lizards and grow tents and then like snakes and tubs, then why do you have it in the first place? If you cannot even watch it do its stuff, like it cannot behave, why the hell do you have it? It's
Well, Semih, back in the early days, when I was doing this stuff, I was always a naturalistic keeper, right? I always wanted the best for my animals. And the Europeans back in those days were all about, bioactive enclosures, naturalistic keeping. While here in the States, everybody had the 20-gallon with a screen top, one light burning, an upside down log, and a water dish. Man, that's so lame. I want to see my animal. I want to look in a cage, and then wow, I don't see my animal anywhere. Well, he's under that rock.
Yeah.
Why is he under the rock? Well, there's moisture there. So, you know, you got to understand, and these animals, all of them, even a ball python, will tell you what he wants. Just got to listen. And I think the problem is, and this is where people get popped when they start dealing with monitors, doing it the right way or doing it the wrong way. The wrong way is going to cost you animals. Doing it the right way might cost you time and effort. But less is more. So instead of keeping, 80 monitor lizards, how about keeping 8 and keeping them the right way? And you'll see their behaviors and their activity levels. So that's all we try to do.
You set up when you're setting something up, if you set it up right to begin with, it's less time later. So why not just set it up right?
100%. Yeah,
you're done. It's going to take care of itself.
Exactly.
Especially if you're doing bioactive or something like that.
Yeah, people ask me if it's like. They ask me if it's like a lot more work, much more work to do it bioactive, and I say it's the complete opposite. Yeah. I mean, I have an enclosure here where I don't know if I can, like here, they're like short-tailed mamushi, like the Gloideus snakes, vipers.
Yep.
And I've set it up like last year, and I have done nothing but trim a little bit of the stuff that grows in there. And also, I don't know what the hell is growing in there. I put some native plants from the area. That's a little thing of mine. I always try to incorporate plants from the area. But there are all kinds of stuff living and growing in there. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I just fill up the water bowl and I do nothing.
Yep. Well, that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You're glitching, Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I think Semih. I'm not hearing Semih.
You don't hear me?
No, I did, but for a minute there, I know you're talking because I see your hands moving and you're pointing, but I can't hear nothing, and I want to hear what you're saying. But at any rate, like you're saying, is like, so when you use cocoa chips or cypress mulch and your animal poops in there, well, now you got to spot clean it or clean it, and then 6 months down the road, you got to throw everything out and redo it. If you use bioactive soil, literally when they poop, by the next morning,
it's gone.
It's gone, and your enclosures smell beautiful. And again, like you're saying, that's less work you got to do. Your little bioactive cleanup crew, they did all the work for you, and they live together peacefully in nature. And and I've often heard people say, "Oh man, you're going to have an overgrowth of bugs." Like, man, it's like bioactive. Yeah, bioactive dirt. And when I say bioactive, and I know there's different meanings, so I don't use live plants, but my soils are all bioactive. They're all living dirt. There's things living in there. And I never see a millipede crawling across my floor, or, I never have an outbreak of springtails because the climate and the habitat outside of that dirt is not conducive for a good life. So they stay in there. Yep. They'll boom at first when you first add your dirt, and then they die back to the amount of debris that your animal produces.
And healthy population.
It's a nice and healthy. It's like a fish tank, It runs like a fish tank.
Isopods or any bioactive animals until the lights go off. Then I check at night. That's when you see them.
It's crazy.
You're not going to see bugs running everywhere.
No, I mean, even with the most arid enclosures that I had, people were asking, is it bioactive? And I said, yeah. And they asked me how you do it, and I said, listen, it's like you have like your substrate mix, and then you have cover on it. You have stones, you have rocks, you have wood, you have partially covered stuff, and the things are living inside the crevasses and everywhere. And even with like uromastics, I had like super dry enclosures. It was bone dry when you watched and you looked at it, but the deeper substrate layers still store some moisture. And at night, as you said, when you come in and you shine the light on it, you see bugs everywhere.
Yep.
And it works with, I don't know, I would say with every species, you can do it bioactive, and you will have less work, and you just have benefits. The animals will benefit, you will benefit, and you will not have exploding populations of anything, because go out in nature. Do you see exploding populations of something? No, because it's an ecosystem.
Right.
That's what we're trying to recreate.
Absolutely. Yeah, those bioactive cleanup crews, they never boom in population because they can only survive to what their needs are being met, so to speak. So, when I first go get my magic dirt from my in-laws' farm, I put it in there. There's literally bugs everywhere, not crawling out of the enclosure, but they're everywhere. And then soon enough, give it a month, you still have that bioactivity in there, but that big boom when you first put it in there,
It's done.
what's sustaining it in nature is different than what's sustaining it in your enclosure. So they die back, and then you get a healthy population, and it keeps your soil aerated. They'll tell you when you need to add a little moisture. So they're good indicators on the health of your animal and your enclosure. I always look at my enclosures as a living thing, right? And that's how it is in nature, right? So it's a perfect way to do things. It's beautiful. It holds my interest, because I couldn't look at a bear or nothing.
No.
So, and then when people come to your house, they're like, "Oh my God, you really did it like a zoo." I'm like, this is better than a zoo, man. I don't have my hands tied, right?
Yeah.
So, we love what you're doing and the message that you're getting across.
I love what you guys are
dialed
doing.
in, man. You got it dialed
Sorry?
in. It's perfect. It's funny.
I'm trying to.
It gets people's interest right away, and then you get them to listen.
Thank you,
It's
man.
telling it, and you're telling serious stuff in a light way. So
I'm trying to. The thing is that, as I said, it's hard to bring people in with dry knowledge all the time. Nobody wants to listen to that.
Definitely.
And even the way that I do it, I still get comments from people that say, "Oh, yeah, here he is, Mr. Know-It-All," and stuff. And no, I'm the opposite of it.
Mhm.
I try to keep my ego as down as I can. And if I do wrong shit, tell me. Call me out on it and show me otherwise. Show me the evidence. But don't call me out because your ego is hurt or your feelings, because I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people
It's for
do
the
that,
animals, not for you.
Well,
They
you know
point
what's
out that
funny?
They don't have an answer, or they don't have a thing to contribute to the conversation. They're just calling you out, and that's so easy to just turn those people away. It's like, give me a reason. Why was I wrong then? And they can't most of the time.
Right. Well, again, when they say things like that, and like, "Oh, you can't call me that," or again, you're not pointing a finger at nobody in particular. However, from our standpoint, from our viewpoint of this industry, hobby, whatever you want to call it, is the welfare of the animal comes number one, right?
100%.
So we're not. What we're really interested in is seeing you succeed and seeing your animals happy and thriving. And if you feel some kind of way about that, instead of getting mad, back up, take your ego out of it, and think, why does he say that? Why do they do that? And, we didn't get here by accident. Because like what we see in this hobby is people come in a sterile environment, blah, 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 blah. And, they fall away. However, we haven't fallen away, and we haven't fallen away because we figured things out. And do we know it all? Heck no. There's always.
And you learn by doing mistakes over and over again, but you're still trying to improve, and that's what makes you a better keeper. I think it's not the guy that never does mistakes that will get to the top. It's the guy that did mistakes thousands of times and still learn from every single time.
See.
Yeah.
But Semih, so what happens is, I feel, when it doesn't go their way, they get out of it. However, people who are dedicated to this stuff, when it's not going their way, instead of just giving up, they figure it out. And once you figure it out, like we say, husbandry becomes very easy.
Yeah.
But not everybody is dedicated like that. They want goldfish in a bowl, and again, that's horrible. But it is what it is.
What it
So
has to do with it's less with reptiles, more with people. It's the type of person that they are.
100%. I think they're exactly like two persons, and I can compare this always to BJJ is an extreme good example for that, because I come from a striking background, and I fought all my life and did my training and stuff. And then I remember the first time I went to the BJJ class and we rolled, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I can fight. I'm a big guy. I'm almost 2 meters, and I can do stuff. And then I was humbled, and I was humbled so badly. It was insane. I was at like 160 kilos, and my trainer is like 65 kilos. And he tapped me out like 15 times in a 4-minute round. It's insane. It was completely insane. And then it's the same with reptiles. And then you have this situation, and now you have two paths that you can go. Either you are weak and you say, you know what, that hurts my ego too much, and I just turn away and go. Or you say, well, maybe I should learn, and I should dig in and put my heels to the ground even more and go through the shit.
Yep.
And I think that's what ultimately makes you not just a better keeper, but a better person in general. If you do that in all your stuff, you don't have any other option than to get better.
Yep. Self-reflection.
Yeah.
Self-reflection and getting your ego out of the way and being open to change is really, what it's all about, whether it's in your life or your husbandry with your animals or Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like you're talking about.
Yep.
If you go around thinking you know it all, what happens? The 60-pound instructor puts you in a rear naked choke and you're done. And then who are you going to blame? Yourself? Yeah, probably because you didn't listen and you thought you knew it all. There's always a better way. And again, like we say, and I got to stress this all the time, there's more than one way. I mean, what we do, what we do is what we do. There's other ways to accomplish your end goals. It doesn't have to be our way cut and dry. And I would never do that to anybody, but okay, our mistakes are our best teacher, right? 100%. So when you make a mistake and an animal dies, question why, and reach out for answers. And there's people out there that'll help you, and people out there that are going to try to sell you a product, right?
Yeah.
So
you gotta be careful where you get your information from. But like when I started, I went to everyone and anyone, and if it didn't make sense, I didn't use it. But I took little bits from everyone and formed my own opinion.
That's the way.
And that's the way. If you take from one source, it's a biased source. Then you're only getting information from one person.
And even if you get it from a researcher, from a biologist, it doesn't matter, because everybody can contribute to that. And as you said, I remember the times when I was a kid, like we had no internet. There were no not that many shows. Like it was Crocodile Dundee, it was the Crocodile Hunter, it was Steve Irwin, these guys that we watched. And then, like, I remember every time we went to the next city, I went to the bookstore and looked for reptile books or got magazines for reptiles. It was only that. And nowadays, people have this in their pockets and they could use it for everything. I mean, it's insane. Everything that we know is inside of this device. And people are using it for stupid stuff instead of doing their research. It's just sad. It's super sad.
Well, it's funny. That brings me to this point too. It's like, if there was a better, and I'm not going to say easier, because I think what I do is easy, but if there was a better way, a less expensive way, a less taxing on my body, digging dirt and all this stuff, if there was a better way to do it, don't you think I would do it? I've just found out over all these years, a proper diet, proper husbandry, proper moisture, proper ventilation in your enclosure, be it too much or too little, man, in the end, that's what saves you time, work, effort, and heartache. I mean, it's heartbreaking to know that these, a lot of these animals are coming from the wild, and I look at them like this, like So they don't want to be in captivity. They don't want to be in a box, wild caught animals. However, captive born animals don't really, they still have their instincts, but
I think they have genetic memory still.
Absolutely. But literally, if you take a wild caught any animal, right, and it's never bumped its nose into a barrier it couldn't get beyond, man, think about how that would, think of a jail system.
Yeah.
Okay. We're free to do whatever we want. We do something wrong, we go to jail, and now we're surrounded by these walls, and you're bumping your head, you're going stir crazy. Same with these animals. So
100%.
At least make their habitat less
sucky.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. For me, when I go on field trips, and then I remember there was like the situation when we went to the Syrian border in Turkey, and now we were looking for Varanus griseus, and I had the hopes for maybe also finding Nestorovi there, which are not confirmed yet in Turkey, but I think they're there also. And then you stand there and you look around. The nature is insane. Literally insane. And you stand there and you watch the whole scene, and then you think, it even gets it gets so depressing, because you see what they can have outside, and then you see what we, even in the best case, provide them at home, Yeah. And I'm not going, I think we should not anthropomorphize too much. I don't think they're like us and like freedom loving and stuff, but do your best. Do your best. Do the best as you can, and you can do better.
Another pet peeve that I have is, like, there's people that, of course, they're getting into these animals and they love them, right? So, but when they is that the word, anthropomorphize, like put a human emotion or whatever on these animals? Like, your lizard doesn't enjoy being on your couch in your 72-degree room for long periods. Short periods, okay, but extended periods. And I can tell you this, they don't enjoy the Andy Griffith show on your TV. This is just so unnatural to them. So when people anthropomorphize, or whatever it's called, put human feeling and emotion on these animals, it's like, wait a minute, man.
Super stupid.
Yeah. When's the last time they sat down at the TV in New Guinea and watched the Andy Griffith show, right? Just use your brain a little bit.
Or drove around in a cabriolet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's those people. So you got the money people, right? They think they're going to make $1 million breeding animals, and some people have, but that's very rare. And then you got the people who love their animals to death. Okay, cuddly people, and then they talk to them, and they nook, and they put a little hat on them, and man, it's like, dude, when I think about monitor lizards being this apex predator, like, I think of like almost like myself like that.
Shame.
Yeah,
Shame, yeah.
I'm gonna put on a pink cowboy hat and go to the park with my kid. No, that's freaking weird. Just like an apex predator wearing a cowboy hat, sitting on a couch with a pillow. Oh, he loves it. He don't love it, man.
No,
I guarantee you he don't love it.
Them out of their climate. Like, put us in the rainforest, in the hot, humid rainforest, and make it just sit there. We're going to be miserable. But but they'll love it. They just don't look at it. People don't look at it that way.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's
reverse,
crazy.
We'd hate it too.
And the thing is, I think, like, this is a pretty vast issue, and it's pretty complex. And I thought about it forever. It's like I'm thinking about the intelligence of animals and what they think and how they think. And I'm pretty sure that most of, maybe even all of the animals are way smarter than we think they are. But the thing is that we always, and we have no other option than to look at things from a human lens. You see a monitor and you think, look, he's smart, but you don't actually know how smart it is. you will never know. I mean, we cannot know. It's a completely different organism. You cannot even think what a monkey thinks. How, like, what kind of idea is it that you think that you understand what your monetarism is? It's, you cannot. Sure, you can watch behavior and you can interpret a little bit of it, but it's, you will never understand it.
Right.
Crazy
Well, you
part
know,
is, yeah.
You're a little delayed, Uncle Mike.
I am no, I'm doing good, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think man, it breaks my heart, man, okay? I love these animals. I love all animals. And to you know, whatever, an alligator, right? So people they take these alligators and they condition them to tolerate our presence.
Sure.
And that doesn't say, oh, he's a great alligator trainer. It just says, to me, it says, wow, the patience of that alligator to thrive despite this guy, you know, bringing him to Kmart or Walmart or walking him on a leash. It's like, you know, take yourself out of it and put your animal, like, okay, so people get a dog, right? A domesticated dog, and they teach it to sit and speak.
Even that is retarded.
It is, but take a wolf pup out of the wild and
good luck.
teach him to speak and take a treat from your fingers without taking your fingers. You know, it's not what that animal is, and there's videos that I see with people, whatever, booping the snoot and putting the cowboy hat, and I look at that animal, and I know that animal is like, what in the hell has my life become? And people don't realize that because they want to talk sweet to it and they want to kiss it, and that's another thing, guys. You know, French kissing the back.
Shit, man.
French kissing the backs of monitor lizards is not a safe practice.
I think I know which clip you're talking about.
It's just not a safe practice, dude. There is things as salmonella and, you know, there's parasite loads that, I mean, you know, a human will take on, you know, a tapeworm or whatever. And, you know, by the time you realize you got a tapeworm and you go for the deworming process, you realize that tapeworm is 30 feet long and it might have been in your belly 10 years already, right?
Yes. Right,
so you just got to be a little smart, man.
How does that look for all of us? Making out with your monitor lizard is not a good move for anybody.
Well, what kind of move is it? I mean, in the first place, who the hell comes to conclusions? You can't stop
what people do in private, but let's not do it on social media.
Well, you know, that just goes back to the other cliche, or not, I don't know, whatever you'd call it, saying, whatever, is like, you know, I see these people and I know their hearts are pure, but you're loving your animal to death. Definitely. The bad food, the bad husbandry, the French kissing, the watching, you know, the Andy Griffith show on the couch in 72-degree air temperatures, bringing your animal to a show in October, and you know you got a boa constrictor around your neck, and it's 40 degrees outside. That animal, look at how much he loves me. He just clings to my neck. He's clinging to your neck to absorb as much heat as he can because he's way out of his element.
Yeah.
You know,
reminds me of Finding Nemo with that girl with the braces. She's so excited to get the fish, but she's sitting there shaking the bag.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of every time I see something like that.
Yeah, and as Mike said, it's like, yeah, I get it. It's they do it out of love, but they are not. They are animals. I mean, even with my dog, I never done shit like that because it's still an animal. It's domesticated, yeah, sure, but it's still an animal, and people need to understand it. If you really want to show love to your animal, you can do it by giving them the perfect enclosure, giving them like the care that they actually need. But you don't do them any favors when you carry them around, when you kiss them. And I mean, I see people kissing their lizards more than I kiss my wife. It's crazy. And I don't kiss my wife like that. And he's like French kissing the monitor lizard. It's crazy. We have all kinds of crazy people with Wi-Fi nowadays. It's
and seeing how they're set up and seeing how happy they are, that's the love I want back.
Me
They're
too.
saying, "Hey, man, love you," without actually saying it, because like
Well,
you hooked him up.
So you bring up a great point there, Nicky Nick. Like the way, okay, everybody wants to love and be loved by their animals, right? However, I can guarantee you something. These reptiles don't love you.
No.
They'll sit on your arm and they'll tolerate it. However, if you go into the woods and stand next to a tree and your animal's going to jump off your shoulder and he's going to explore and sure, captive born, whatever, they may come back to you, and that's great. I mean, that's not a problem. But if he had his choice in his natural range, he ain't coming back, man. I hate to tell you that. No matter how much you French kiss them, no matter how much you boop their snoot, how many hats you put on them, I look at it this way.
Generation captive bred, and it's not going to come back to you. It's
right.
Hey, this is what I've been looking for. See you later.
Right. Exactly.
Man, you love that. You love your monitor lizard so much. Try laying there as a dead person for a week, and let's see how much they actually love you. They love you, but they love to eat you, and that's
exactly.
And it's not evil. It's not anything. It's just not in their nature.
Yep.
There's a great story where there is a scorpion and a frog, and the frog is in the creek, and the scorpion wants to cross over to the other side. And then the frog tells the scorpion asks the frog to carry it over to the other side. And then the frog says, "No, you're a scorpion. You will sting me, and we will die." And then the scorpion says, "No, I wouldn't do that. We would both die." And then they speak, and then the frog decides to take the scorpion on its back, and it tries to cross the creek to the other side. In the middle of the creek, the scorpion stings the frog. And the frog says, "Man, you stung me. We're both going to die. Why have you done that?" And the scorpion says, "Man, I'm sorry, but that's my nature."
That's what I do.
This is a story I always keep in my mind with the animals. You have to respect their nature.
Yep. And as far as like we were talking about, like your animals showing you love. When I show my animals love, I give them a proper setup and everything they need within their habitat to the best of my abilities.
Yeah.
And when I see them breeding or digging through leaves looking for something to eat, that's how they're showing me, "Hey, man, I love you.
Yeah.
You gave me a good setup." Okay, watching TV shows doesn't mean that animal loves you. It means it's tolerating you. But the real reward is seeing naturalistic behaviors within your enclosure. That's the real reward that you should be looking for.
Yep.
Let the animal be the animal.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to be a lot calmer, and they're going to show you a love-like behavior because of it. Because they're going to be more calm and more accepting of you being in their area because of how nicely you set them up.
Yep.
I think about like the croc monitors when I'm talking about this. When they're jumping from tree to tree, and then I go to feed them, and they come to me slowly and instead of like aggressively, like if somebody had them in a PVC enclosure.
A croc monitor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
it's insane. I mean,
here's another good one in captivity. I mean, we got to be real with ourselves, right? So someone will say, "Yeah, I got blue tree monitors. I keep them in an arboreal enclosure." I'm like, "Oh, wow. So what, you got a 20-foot enclosure?" "Oh, no, it's only 6 feet tall." That is not arboreal. That's like the low end of their arboreal abilities in the wild. You know what I mean? It's like, again, that's people putting human emotion or intelligence on these animals that, in my opinion, are a lot more intelligent than we give them credit for. Because, like I said, 6 foot high enclosure for a tree monitor is the lowest point of their ground dwelling experience. I mean, they probably spend very little time 6 feet and lower.
Yeah. I was just going to say that. They probably spend zero time under
zero. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it could be so easy, but we should just try to, again, as I said it like hundreds of times, just try to copy nature. Try to provide them what they use in the wild, and then you will succeed, and you will be happy because your animals will be happy, And that should be the goal of anybody that keeps animals, really. And it doesn't even matter how intelligent that animal is. I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why
So
people think us as breeders think that we breed for the money end. It's like, no, I feel like I achieved what I was setting out to achieve. Like they're
Yeah.
happy enough and comfortable enough to breed in captivity,
right,
which
but
is very hard with monitors in most cases.
and again, that is the minimum. That is the minimum call for success. Is okay, hon. Be careful. That's the minimum, like for their success. They, another thing that bothers me is when people say, "Well, yeah, last year I made 23 of them." It's like, dude, what did you break out your hammer and screwdriver and you made a baby lizard?
I
No.
produced is good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I produced.
Yeah, like, and I don't mind the word produce because you're giving the onus back to the animal. Okay, my husbandry allowed this animal to reproduce. Not I made this and I made that. Dude, you kept an animal in a box and you fed it and you took care of it. You didn't really do much.
Yeah.
I mean, you did the bare minimum that animal made babies, right?
Maybe he lit a candle. That's all of it. I mean,
Right.
not
Right.
more than that.
But yeah, so that's it. I mean, we think way too highly of ourselves, and that's a problem too. Well, that's ego,
Ego.
Yeah.
I think in the end, like most of the issues that we have in animal keeping and also in other aspects of life, it always comes back to ego. I mean, I know guys that are extremely good reptile keepers. They had monitors for 50 years. And I still catch them sometimes when we're speaking that you hear this little ego shoot in. And I think, man, you're such a great guy. But if you could lose that little tiny ego, maybe you would even get better than that.
Yeah.
And
True.
it's always like that. You cannot have ego when you try to proceed. And I think one lifetime even is not enough. I mean, you will never. I'm 100% sure that you will never reach a point where you can say, "I know it all."
Well,
One lifetime is not enough. 100 lifetimes are not enough because everything is changing and evolving, and the whole issue is so complex. You will never reach that point. And let's hypothetically say you will reach it, then it should be time to switch hobbies because I don't know, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You will never reach it.
That's
Right.
when it becomes boring.
Well, that's what we always say. When you think you know it all, you've lost. So, again, you and I and Nick, we've been keeping these animals for a very long time in captivity. They survive not because of us, but in spite of us. And I think we're pretty advanced as far as keepers go. But it says way more about these animals than it does about us because we don't have an ego when it comes to the animals. I know every day when I go down there and I look at my animals, I realize they're in a box, man. That's not what they were designed to be in. I don't care if they're captive born or not. They're supposed to be in nature. So it's up to us to provide the best that we can for them. And even whatever that means on a small scale, in 8x6x4, people are like, wow, that enclosure is huge. Man, dude, that's like, a 10-second walk for a monitor lizard in the wild, right?
Yeah.
It's not because of us, it's in spite of us. So it says more about the animal than it does about us. So give the credit to the animals. They're the ones doing it,
Yeah. That's what always drove me nuts with socialization. And people are like, oh, keep them in a tinier box. They'll be more behaved. It's like, I always kept in the biggest I possibly could, and they were more behaved than the people keeping them in tiny boxes. So, it always blew my mind with that.
Yeah. And again, I liken monitor lizards to like keeping a fish tank, saltwater, freshwater, whatever. It's you see your beautiful fish. However, the things that you don't see, if they weren't there, your fish would not survive. So a bigger enclosure, a bigger fish tank takes longer for it to, when something does go wrong, it gives you time to adjust. Where if they're in a small little thing and they don't have much of a temperature gradient, a humidity gradient, when that breaks down, man, it happens quick. So, it's good to provide
breeding alone.
buffer zones.
Grading
Yeah.
is the biggest thing that I think is a factor when it comes to breeding. They need to find what they need to breed. Like with the quince, they needed that big drop in the winter, and I found that out just trial and error.
Yep.
And I still experiment with that stuff all the time. Leaving windows open, leaving lights off longer. It's the fun of it. It's the experiment. It's the game.
Yep. It's the figuring out that keeps your brain engaged for the sake of your animals. So, Semih, we're getting on long here. I wanted to ask you, do you do much breeding, or is it mainly keeping now, or do you do your share of both? Obviously, what are you up to?
I'm doing both, I would say. I downsized my collection pretty much from what it has been, like say 2 years ago or last year even, because I'm still in the process of switching the business. I'm self-employed. I do car wrapping, and I have my car wrap shop. But I'm actually in the process of switching to Paleo Solutions. I want to do that because I feel like not really. I mean, sure, we all have to earn money and provide for our families and stuff, but that's not my main goal. I feel like I need to, with the whole social media thing also, I honestly think that I can provide people with stuff that will benefit their animals. And so I decided to go that path and switch my businesses slowly. I have to still keep my business running and stuff. But yeah, the process is ongoing, and so I downsized the collection. Like probably not even 1/3 of the animals that I had are actually here anymore. Just to have a little bit more time and a bit more headspace. Like I have 50 animals, and all of my animals are in full-size terrariums. I don't have no racks or no tubs where I keep my stuff in. So 50 animals is
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about monitor lizards that are literally an everyday, it's an everyday thing. Like snakes, you feed them and they'll go sit in their comfortable spot, and you got a little bit of time. However, monitors are always eating, always basking, always doing something.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a natural progression. Semih, if you really think about it, you go back and you think how people start. Okay, they start with one animal, and then the next thing you know, they got 2 animals, then 10, then they get 50, 80 animals, and then they realize, wow, this is a lot of work. And then they cut back, hopefully, they cut back to what's manageable for them and the health of their animals. So, again, it's great that we have people like you on the internet, and I believe me and Nick, and we kind of try to guide people, and people don't want to hear it at first. And then, like you're saying, 2 years go down the road, and this guy who had 18 large adult female monitors is cut back to 6, and that's good. That's good for the animals, and it's good for you. You get to see more, right? The less we always say less is more. So
100%.
Yeah.
We both
And you can
down
even
this year as well. Uncle Mike and I.
Sorry,
I'm the
bro.
lowest I've ever been since I've started right now.
Yeah, me probably also. I think I have like 15 animals left or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still enough. I mean, as you said, downsizing can also be joyful because you have more time, you can observe more, you can see problems if they are earlier in the process, and everybody will benefit from it. I like to specialize on stuff. Like I still have I have my dwarf crocodile, I have my vipers, and I have my monitors, but I don't mix in I don't have whole lot of agamas here, and iguanas here, and manatees there, and boas, and this and that. Yeah, you can maybe do that, but if you do it, can you still provide 100% of your attention to the animals?
Exactly.
If you got 50 or more, I think it's not possible.
It
And how do
becomes
you provide all those different climates? Because it's not just
Mhm.
the climate of the enclosure, but the surrounding area. Like everything
Exactly.
I keep is pretty much locked into that central climate. So
Exactly.
it's,
I have,
it's hard.
for example, I have animals here in my office, and I have animals outside in the workshop. I keep all my animals in my workshop because I'm here for 12 hours a day, so that's the only reasonable thing to do.
Yep.
And I also have like the species out there. They get colder in winter, they hibernate, they brumate, and then I have more tropical species here. That's also a thing. I always wonder when people tell me that they have like a small flat and they keep like 100 animals from all kinds of different environments. Yeah, I don't know. Can you do it really? Like,
right.
it's
Yeah,
really possible?
if you're doing that, and man, you better be spot on with your individual caging and your climates within those cages.
Yeah.
It's common sense. Again, here we always come back to that, right? Common
Always.
sense. If you're overextending yourself, your animals are going to suffer. You're going to not enjoy it as much. So
Yeah.
less is more. Better caging. Understanding how their habitats work. That's all an advanced level.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to sound all hoity-toity, but it's true. It is true. It's your animals will benefit if you're not overextending yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
And I also
Semih,
see that with like just last week I visited a good friend of mine, which is a biologist, and he's breeding lace monitors, and he has Chinese alligators and all that special stuff.
oh
And
man,
he split it up in his house in like 3 floors.
Wow.
And then you can also see with him, like, he had a lot of animals, different animals over the time, and then the collection shrunk down to basically like 3 or 4 species.
Yeah.
And I think that's the progression you do. As farther you climb up the ladder, I think the species will go down and down. And also your interest maybe starts to specialize into or narrow down really. I think that's the natural progression of stuff.
and like when you've been doing it as long as that we have, you see that, and I can almost tell you, if I don't know nobody from nobody, and they come in with this collection, I can almost tell, or what they're doing with their collection and what they're doing with their life. I can almost tell you where they sit within this hobby. The new people come in and they're all gung-ho, right? They want to go and be educators.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you've been doing this for 5 years, man. Who are you educating? I mean, and what are you educating? Simplicity, proper, husbandry techniques, proper diet, proper heat and light. So yeah, and then you got the people, when you start seeing them cut back on their collection, now that he's mid-level, he's coming up, he's understanding, to keep these animals proper, you can't have a million of this and a million of that.
No.
I mean, sure, you can, but on it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it burns you out. So
can you provide? That's always the central question.
Yep.
I don't know. You don't get kids when you cannot provide. So maybe you should also not do that with animals.
Oh,
It's nothing else. They don't
hey,
have no.
hold on a minute, Semih. Don't say that, Semih. I got 9 kids, so
We're blessing, brother. That's good.
Yeah.
That means you can
Don't
provide.
let my
You're
wife
doing
hear
your
that.
job
I'm trying
good.
to have my second.
Nice, man.
But
I have
hey,
my second.
so Semih, I got to ask you while we got you, and man, we love you, brother. We love what
I
you're
love you
doing,
guys too, man. You're doing
and that ain't blowing smoke at you, because you have a purpose, and a good purpose, and your heart is clean and pure. So we love that with you. So my next question to you is, are you ever coming to Tinley Park?
need to. I really need to. Um, I always wanted to come. Like, actually, a big dream of mine were to move to the States and live somewhere down south. That would be a dream for me. Um, but now that I have two kids, it's even hard to go on expeditions, like short expeditions.
Right.
But I will, hopefully, God willing, someday I will come over there and I
Well,
need to visit you guys. I need to visit.
I would so love it if you came to Tinley one time or Monitor Fest,
Yep.
and we could just sit down face to face and have a talk.
Awesome.
We've known each other for years on the internet,
Yeah.
but it's always great to meet somebody that you respect. So I wish you the best in all that you do, and I hope to meet you someday. And of course, I'm probably not getting to Germany anytime
I was
soon.
gonna say, Uncle Mike, we got to go to Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, come to him.
I would like that. I would,
Definitely.
because man, you guys got some stuff over there that we don't got here, and
Yeah,
that's pretty
same goes
cool.
for you. Same goes for you.
Yeah.
Like Spinolosos, I think one day when I will come there, I will not return without them. But it's impossible to get them in.
Well,
It's,
Nicky Nick's got some Spinolosis eggs in the
Really?
incubator.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got some eggs hatching probably.
I will
in 3
send you my
months.
address later. You can
All right.
do it overnight express.
Come to Tinley. You can go home with some.
Yeah. The question would be how I bring them in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always, but you know what? That's one thing that's nice about Tinley. I mean, right now, currently here in the States, there's kind of like a shipping debacle war type thing going on. But I can almost guarantee you that there's always at least one or two shipping companies at Tinley. So if you do buy something, they would set it up or tell you, don't do it because there's no way to set that up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always that possibility of getting animals like shipped across the United States. That's one thing, but going to other countries, I'm sure it happens and I'm sure they do it.
Yeah, I think Reptiles Express, I know they ship from Ham back here all the time. I have friends that
Yeah,
ship
but
at
the
Ham.
thing is with like some species, it's not that easy. I mean, I had Mertens. Mertens were always my dream animals. And I think, if I remember correctly, that was also the point where I met Mike, is with the Mertens. And then I finally had them. And, as life goes, I had to give them away after a couple of years.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a position where I need them back. I don't want them. I need them. But
I got 10 fresh hatchlings in the box right now. And
But
you know
it's
what?
we don't have them anymore. It's like pretty difficult. I know the guys that keep them, but offspring is like there was nothing in the last couple of years, and it's just a handful of people here in Europe that still got them.
Yeah, I could tell you, I believe the trick to keeping and breeding Mertens is they need a big water feature, right? Yeah. And they love super hot temperatures. And I a few years ago, I was giving somebody advice on one of the forums or the groups, and this other guy who's he's a keeper, he's kind of respected. Well, he is respected, but whatever. He's like, I can't believe you give bad advice like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Nobody uses those high temperatures. I'm like, so being what I am, I had to go and shoot the animal basking at 150 degrees and show them. And then, I didn't get, oh, wow, I didn't really, you don't get none of that. Oh, my bad. You don't get none of that. It's they're ready to bash you, but they won't admit when they were wrong. So
again, it's ego. It's so bad. I mean, everybody can be wrong. I can keep one species for 50 years, and then there can be a person that just started with them, and he observes something which could probably change my entire husbandry. And the guy tells me, and I'm the cunt that says, no, this idiot knows nothing because I kept him for 50 years. It's stupid. It's
right.
Stupid. If you arrived at a point where your ego is that big that you cannot take any, like, you cannot even speak to anybody else anymore, then you should quit the hobby. I also don't get where the passion is in that. If you're really passionate about something, you should strive to learn every day, like day in and day out. And I think the good guy, also like yourself and like Nick, I know that you guys are like that. I know that you know so much, but you still keep on learning. And
Yep.
all the great guys I know, I'm nothing compared to them. I have friends that are so knowledgeable. It's insane. It's literally insane. But they also learn new stuff every day.
Well,
That's
we always we like to say, Semih, iron sharpens iron. So,
yeah,
and another thing that me and Nick and we're forever a student of these animals, right? When you think you know it all, man, hang it up, because, like you just said, a younger keeper, new eyes on the same situation, the same problem, may open your eyes. So always be a student, forever a student of these animals.
and stay humble.
Stay humble.
Stay humble. That's
You know what? Here's the thing. I know I heard you say God bless or God willing. Not only our animals have a way of humbling us, but the good Lord will humble you too. So you better be careful with that.
yeah. There's a thing in there's a thing in Islam, and I believe in God, but I'm a bit more free when it comes to religion. I also like Tengrism really much, which is the first religion of the Turks, which is like shamanic traditions. But there is one saying in Islam, and it's also in Tengrism, which says that everybody will have to give, like, I don't know,
Give account.
huh?
Give account.
Yeah, give account in the hereafter to either go to heaven or to hell, and you will have to give account not just how you acted or how you interacted with people, but also with every single animal that you have ever met
Wow.
in your entire life.
Yep.
That's the thing. I don't know it. I don't know if the audience believes in God or in evolution or any, like, it's just basic morals, right?
Exactly.
Just try to do your best, not just with people, but with animals. And animals are, maybe, in my opinion, a bit higher up that ladder, because they cannot argue with you. They cannot really fight you. They are completely helpless when it comes to you and your husbandry in the end.
Yeah, that's kind of
And
how
that's
I
the
know
thing we should
all
always
are.
remember.
Go
Yep.
throughout life like somebody's watching. That's
Yeah.
Yep.
morals
Well,
are-
Semih, I want to say, I tried to say, dude, this happens all the time. We try segueing out, and then we give our props to our guest, and then we go down another rabbit hole. But man, Semih, keep doing what you're doing. We love it. We even the people that don't love it, sooner or later they're going to get it and then understand why we say what we say. And we want to have you back again, except this time we're going to have to inconvenience you, because literally I only had one cup of coffee, and I'm surprised I'm able to put a sentence together. But man, this was a great interview, Semih.
Thank you guys so much again. It was a blessing to be here.
Absolutely. And like I say, keep up the great work, and thank you for being a friend to the show and to us. And Nicky Nick, you got anything else?
just thank you, Semih. I'm a big fan and always will be. I love the message that you're putting out, man.
Thank you guys. Same goes for me. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everybody, all you brainiacs out there. Here we got Semih, the reptile Hun, spitting wisdom at people out of the kindness of his heart. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Semih.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Applause for you guys. Thanks.
Now
And we're gonna get
I'm kind of awake now at 9
Yeah.
o'clock.
We're gonna get you back on again, Semih, because you're a
It'd be
great guy.
pleasure. It was
Thank
awesome.
you, and good luck, and God bless, and all that you do, brother.
You guys also. Thank you. Take
Thank you,
care of
Semih.
you guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
What's going on, guys? So when it comes to husbandry, I can't think of anything more important than your feeders. So what you're putting through your animal, but not only that, what's going through the animal that's about to go through your animal. There's a lot of steps to it, and if you're not farming it yourself, it can be very hard to find someone you could trust. So let me take the guesswork out for you. Kleinsfeeders.com is the best that I've found. It's who I use. It's who Uncle Mike uses. It's someone I know personally. It's family owned. They've been doing this since 2008, guys. 18 years. They know what they're doing. They've fine-tuned and perfected it throughout their farms, and I have nothing to complain about. I've had nothing but positive experience with Brendan and his family. They are the best out there. And the best part is they're in the United States. Don't buy from these guys because they're getting them from China and all overseas. And by the time they get here, who knows what those feeders are packed with. So don't mess around. Go to kleinsfeeders.com and feed the best you can. What's going on, guys? Whether you're a first-time shipper or a veteran to the industry, Reptiles to You has you covered. Reptiles to You has everything you need to ship your reptiles and invertebrates safely. From top-notch supplies to an industry-leading live customer service team, Reptiles to You is a one-stop shop that we've used and trusted for years. They've got options on their website for single purchase shipping kits or bulk options for all the best supplies to use if you're a breeder that ships out larger volumes at a time or just a box here and there. And of course, you can create your own shipping labels on their website at the lowest rates in company history. Part of providing the best for our animals is also ensuring that they travel safely to their new homes. And there's no team better than that, than the people at Reptiles to You. So guys, if you're looking to partner with the best in the industry, it's an easy choice. I did it a long time ago and I never looked back. Follow the link in the description and join the Reptiles to You family today.
Man, damn, that's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a great message too, you know. You know, now I'm starting to hear myself back. I don't know how that.
The reverb starting.
Yeah,
oh,
but
I can't keep it too long this time, unfortunately, because I'm supposed to be at work 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But just if you wanted to, I said we would in the beginning. I guess we'll just say that we'll talk more about Monsters of God with Crutchfield, but it is coming out today. So
it's coming out today, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I can't recall the date because you're going to Daytona.
Yeah.
So,
but he's the next guest, right? Like
I believe, yes, I believe he is. We made a special slot for him because he's the OG, man. He deserves our respect.
And then we have none other than Dr. Spracklin with his books coming out.
Yep.
He was nice enough to mention us. So.
Yep.
He's coming on to talk about his book after that. So we got two really big important things that are coming up, and I look forward to them for sure.
Yeah, we got just quickly. We got Dariel Goss. He's coming on. Spracklin, OG, Tom Crutchfield,
Rory
and
Schumack was coming up too.
Oh yeah, we do. We have Rory Schumack from, I believe he's in Australia, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be another great one, man. I look forward to it.
It's going to be fun trying to figure out that timing too.
Yeah, well, I think we've already figured it out. He was way more flexible than the Hun, man. The Hun he was a rough guy to pin down, but man, was it worth it or what?
It was worth it. Great guy.
Yeah.
It was cool talking to him. I feel like I knew him already after watching all those things. Wish his little friend with the spinny cap would have came on.
I wish he would have too. I was hoping he would have done that. So listen, quick, let's take care of a little bit of business. Klein's Feeders. Anybody who wants clean, quality, expedient shipping, very reliable source. Klein's Feeders for your whole prey needs.
Yep. And we got Show Me shows all over. It's like Missouri. They're all over the place now, but great show. Have a lot of great vendors, big place. Go check them out.
Yep. And then we got John Dragna with Sim Container.
Yep.
Great product. Probably, I always say this, probably the best reptile related product that has came out literally, and I'm not boasting, in my lifetime. I just love Sim Containers and the purpose of that tool. It just makes everything so much easier. So if you don't got none, go get you some Sims, incubator egg boxes. Who else we got, Nick?
We got Reptiles to You. They are the best when it comes to shipping. We were talking about them a little bit in the episode. I just ordered a bunch of boxes from them, and I'm going to be calling them because they're in charge of Gon's crickets too. They're getting a call today because I got a shipment coming in that needs crickets. So,
also kingsnake.com. John Poff is trying to revive the old kingsnake.com to this new kingsnake.com. So go check them out.
Yep. And that's everyone. So
That's everyone.
we'll see you guys after whatever happens with Monster of God. Hopefully it's nothing.
Yep.
But we'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you all. Thank you, Nicky Nick.
Yep. Thanks, Uncle Mike. I'll talk to
No
you later.
problem. Appreciate you.